The night air was heavy with the scent of jasmine, clinging to the skin like an unwanted reminder of past promises. Adara sat by the window of her penthouse apartment in Victoria Island, her fingers wrapped around a glass of wine. She watched the city lights twinkle below, the cacophony of Lagos muted by the glass walls. Her heart, though, roared louder than the traffic. She had met Chijioke on a humid Friday evening at an art gallery opening. She wasn't looking for love. She was there to support a friend's exhibition. But Chijioke, with his easy charm and infectious laugh, pulled her into his orbit. He wore a faded shirt and shoes that had seen better days, but he spoke with the confidence of someone who believed he belonged anywhere he stood. They lingered by a painting, discussing its meaning. I love how the artist uses chaos to tell a story, Chijioke said, his eyes glinting. Adara tilted her head. Chaos doesn't usually tell a coherent story, though. Maybe not immediately, he countered, leaning closer. But sometimes the mess is the art. She laughed, surprised by how quickly he disarmed her. They exchanged numbers that night, and he texted her before she even got home. Their dates were simple at first: walks on the beach, street food under neon lights. Chijioke couldn't afford lavish dinners, but he made her laugh like no one else. He listened to her dreams, her fears, and when he looked at her, it was as if she was the only person in the world. One night, after a long day at work, Adaora found herself at his tiny, cramped apartment. They ate instant noodles and talked until dawn. I'm going to build something big, he said, eyes burning with ambition. I just need a chance. Adara touched his face. Maybe I can help you find it, she said. He kissed her like she was the answer to every prayer he'd ever whispered. Adara brought Chijioke into her life like he belonged there. She introduced him to her friends, who remained skeptical, and to her father, who eyed him thinly veined with disdain. I just want you to be careful, her father said one night over the phone. Men like him. Men like him what? Adara snapped. Eh? Men like him what? Deserve a chance? Her father sighed. Just keep your eyes open, my daughter. But Adara's eyes were already shut to the truth. She funded Chijioke's business ventures, introduced him to her contacts, and when he failed, she comforted him. Failure is just part of the journey, she would say, holding him tightly. He would bury his face in her neck, apologizing for not being enough, all the while planning his next betrayal. As the months passed, Chijioke became distant. He blamed stress, the pressure of wanting to succeed for her. Adara believed him, sharing him with even more support. And then Chijioke began to secretly have an affair with Adaora's executive assistant, Ifeoma. They had met at Adaora's office one afternoon, where Ifeoma was arranging Adaora's desk. Ifeoma playfully said, "You must be Adaora's project." Chijioke, smirking, responded, "I prefer the term investment." "She talks about you all the time," Ifeoma said catily. And Chijioke, leaning closer, said, "What exactly does she say?" Ah, that you're the love of her life now. What else? Their eyes met and something shifted. They started meeting at hotels during lunch breaks, fabricating late night work sessions, sometimes making out in Ifeoma's office while Adara would be in her own office busy working. Chijioke, low and urgent, would say, "No one can know." Ifeoma laughed and said, "Then kiss me quietly." "This is dangerous." "But it feels good, doesn't it?" Ifeoma whispered. One day, as they lay tangled in sheets, Ifeoma asked, "You don't feel guilty?" Those sheets were actually bought with Adaora's money. Chijioke traced lazy circles on her skin, responded, I feel guilty that I can't give you more yet. Ifeoma smiled, already picturing their future. The truth unraveled on a night Adaora had planned a surprise dinner for Chijioke. She left the office early, excited to celebrate one of his business milestones. But when she arrived at his apartment, the door was slightly ajar. She stepped in quietly, balancing a cake and a bouquet of flowers. The laughter hit her like a slap, Ifeoma's laughter. Adaora kept to the bedroom, her heart hammering. She pushed the door open to see them tangled in each other, blissfully unaware. The flowers fell from her hand. Chijioke bolted upright. Ada, Ifeoma gasped, scrambling to cover herself. It's not what it looks like. Adaora's voice was eerily calm. Oh, it's exactly what it looks like. She turned and walked out without another word, her fingers buzzing with the energy she had suppressed for years. That night, Adaora visited her father. She collapsed in his arms, sobbing as she told him everything. He stroked her hair. I warned you. I wanted a normal life, she whispered. I wanted love without the darkness. Her father kissed her forehead. But you are not normal, Adaora. You never were. She wiped her eyes, her voice hollow. I shut it out. I buried that part of myself so deep I thought it wouldn't resurface. Her father's eyes darkened with knowing maybe it's time to dig it back up. Adaora met with her friend Amaka at their favorite cafe a few days later. Amaka stared at her outraged. You caught him with your assistant? She hissed, gripping her coffee cup tightly. Are you joking? Adaora swallowed a spoon in her tea, her face unreadable. I thought he loved me. Amaka slammed her hand on the table. He loved your money, your connections. Jesus, Ada, how could you let this happen? I didn't see it, Adaora whispered. I didn't want to see it. Amaka leaned in, lowering her voice. What are you going to do? Adaora's lips curved into a faint, dangerous smile. You just wait. And with those words, something shifted inside her. Something ancient, powerful, and vengeful. She let them marry. Let them build a life on her money, have a child, and think they had won. Adaora wasn't just a successful businesswoman. She was the daughter of a lineage bound to the ancient cult of the Umu Nne Eze, the daughters of the Spirit Queen. As a child, she had been initiated in a forest ceremony under a blood-red moon, her soul linked to the unseen forces of vengeance and justice. But she had buried that part of herself, locked it away like a beast in a cage. She wanted to live as a regular woman, to love without the shadows of her past lingering in every corner, until the betrayal. After a confrontation with Chijioke and Ifeoma, Adaora returned to her family's ancestral home. The walls hummed with the spirits of her foremothers, and the air smelled of old incense and burnt offerings. She knelt in the center of the sacred room, surrounded by carvings of the Spirit Queen. Her father stood by the doorway, silent. Adaora cut her palm with a ceremonial dagger, letting her blood drip onto the stone floor. I call on the Queen, she whispered, her voice steady. I call on the forgotten power of my lineage. The shadows in the room lengthened, swirling around her like living things. A voice, ancient and cold, echoed through the room. Are you ready to become what you were meant to be? Adaora lifted her head, her eyes gleaming. Yes. The shadow surged into her, and Adaora's body arched with the force of it, her veins glowing faintly with dark energy. When she stood, she was no longer just Adaora. She was a vessel of something far more dangerous. Her revenge became sharper, more intricate. She didn't just destroy Chijioke and Ifeoma's life, she made them unravel piece by piece. Chijioke began seeing Adaora in mirrors that shattered when he turned to look at her. Ifeoma would hear a baby crying in her house, even when their child was peacefully asleep. They would wake up with scratches on their bodies, their skin burning with unexplainable welts. Their child grew weaker, his body failing without cause. No doctor could explain the illness. No priest could exorcise the darkness clinging to their home. And through it all, Adaora watched. Then slowly, she unraveled their happiness. Business deals crumbled. Money vanished. Their child fell sick with a mysterious illness no doctor could diagnose. It wasn't until Chijioke caught a glimpse of Adaora watching them from across the street, her eyes glowing faintly, that he realized the truth. We have to leave. We have to leave, he told the farmer frantic. We have to run. But there was nowhere to run. Adaora's revenge was meticulous, stretching over years. And by the time they understood the full scope of her wrath, they were broken. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. She never touched them, never spoke to them again. But they knew. And they knew she watched. She became their living nightmare, a shadow that unraveled their lives piece by piece. The ruins of what once was a home now stood as a silent monument to betrayal and vengeance. Chijioke and Ifeoma, shadows of their former selves, sat in the wreckage of their lives, broken, defeated, and powerless to undo what had been done. They had taken everything from Adaora, her trust, her love, her kindness, but they underestimated the quiet storm that brewed beneath her skin. The woman they thought they had destroyed rose like a phoenix, not to rebuild, but to burn the ashes of her pain into something unrecognizable. In the end, Adaora didn't need to lift a finger. The universe answered her silence with chaos, unraveling Chijioke and Ifeoma thread by thread. They finally saw the truth. She had watched, she had waited, and she had won. And as they drowned in their despair, Adaora thrived, not out of bitterness, but out of the power that came from reclaiming herself. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching the story as much as I enjoyed writing it. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of Adaora's revenge? This is a typical example of revenge is best served cold. And what do you think of Chijioke and Ifeoma? Do you think it was foolish of them to assume that Adaora would just let the betrayal slide? I'd love to hear from you. Please write your opinion in the comments. And like I said in my previous videos, if you have suggestions for stories, please also write it down in the comments. Thank you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Hello friends, it's your personal person, Cha. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this family. Please like and subscribe for more wisdom tales. See you in the next video.